after this many episodes, there's so many movies that I forgot we ever did.
Me too.
It's funny. I remember like the first 30, even though that was so long ago, because I think everything had so much more meaning then.
We were like more serious and like unsure.
Oh, remember how you somehow didn't like City of God?
Yeah.
But not really. You don't even know what that is.
I vaguely remember that movie.
Remember Bombshell? We did a whole episode on Bombshell.
What?
That was your pick.
Oh, yeah. About the journalists.
Yeah.
I do not remember that episode.
Oh, Leap Year. That was a bad one.
That was a bad one. I do remember that one.
And then Beetlejuice feels like it was just not that long ago.
Yeah.
That was episode 122.
Seriously?
Yeah. That feels recent.
That feels like we just did it, but maybe it's because this fall we saw Beetlejuice 2.
I think that must be it.
The rejuice.
Yeah, the rejuicening.
Yeah.
Did we do all the Step Up movies?
We did.
That was a good time.
That was a good time. I think we need to do another big series like that.
Oh, maybe we will. Well, welcome everyone to a actually very special episode of I Love This, You Should Too.
Hi.
My name is Indy, Beetlejuice, just 2 times, Randhawa. And with me is Samantha, I forgot that movie even existed, Randhawa.
That's me.
I almost introduced you as he's.
Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago on this podcast too.
Yeah.
Wow. I've had 2 last names on this podcast.
And so many nicknames.
And so many nicknames. I kind of want, like, I know it would be like an incredible amount of work, but I would really like to hear just like all of our intro nicknames from the beginning to now.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that much, but still more than I wanted to.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not asking you to do it. I just think that would be funny.
I do that almost every time. You'd think I would one time plan something ahead.
Yeah.
It's always right at the moment, and that's why they're usually terrible, like today's.
That's why I'm just like, me and him. I can't do nicknames off the top of my head. I'm terrible off the top of my head. I definitely had to find the balance over these 300 episodes of notes and not just reading off of my notes and not having anything prepared. So I feel like I finally struck a balance, but those first couple episodes where I tried to read like synopses,
That's it.
it did not go well, and I sounded a bit like a robot. 300 episodes later, I think I've sort of figured it out.
That's all it takes. If anyone wants to get good at podcasts, it just takes 300 episodes.
Yep.
I'm still working on it. I think 450. That's going to be my...
450?
That's when I'm going to peak, and then I'll be good.
Okay.
So what are we doing today, Samantha?
Well, it is a very special episode because it is episode 300. Yay! And we are going to do our review of our past 50 episodes and give them some awards.
Are we going to review them?
We're not going to review them. We're just going to like look back over the...
Oh, okay. Like this. Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
We're going to look in the rear view?
Sure.
Is that what we're doing? Okay.
I guess you're telling me what we're doing.
Yeah, so we're going to give out some awards. If you've been a long-time listener, you know that we have some very fun awards that we give out. And then we get down to some couple fights. And then we finish off with our best of the season.
Best of what?
The movies. Best movie. Worst movie.
Okay. And we'll have statistics because people love statistics,
they
right?
They do. I think
Said no one.
I think the Oscars should have like a worst movie category as well.
Well, I think that's their Razzies.
Yeah, but I think it should be in the same broadcast.
You know what? I agree. I agree with that.
Like we spend a lot of time being like, this was the best. No, this was the best. No, this one's the best. Here's 10 movies that we think could be the best. I want to know what didn't even like phase their minds to make that list.
Give me all that garbage.
Yeah.
I'd be excited for that, actually. I probably watch just as many Raspberry Award winners as I do Oscar winners.
Yeah.
I like both ends of the spectrum.
That's what I want. I just
hate to be bored.
Yeah.
If it's in the middle, that's garbage. Give me something terrible that was ambitious and failed, or get me something that is beautiful.
Yeah.
The middle ground I have no time for.
No. So, Indy, where are we starting out?
So maybe what we should start with are the movies we did over these last 50 episodes. Do you want to tell us, Sam?
Yeah, so my movies that we saw were Legally Blonde, One True Loves, Breakfast at Tiffany's, 27 Dresses, Ready or Not, Lights, Camera, Christmas, It Ends With Us, and Happy Feet.
Oh, you did it like an awards announcer.
I was trying to
It sounded like it.
I was channeling my best Oscar presenter. And the movies that you brought us were In the Heat of the Night, To Kill a Mockingbird, In the Mood for Love, 2046, Roman Holiday, Jurassic Park, Hereditary, Troll 2, Home Alone, Hero, and The Birds.
You are very good at that. That sounded good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll go over these, but you know what we're going to start with? Statistics. Everybody loves statistics, right?
Woo, woo, woo.
Nobody loves statistics. So the average budget of my movies was $14 million. The average budget of your movies, $30 million.
Oh, okay.
Twice as much.
Wow.
The average box office for my movies, as high as it's ever been, $181 million.
Wow, that's a lot.
And that's mostly because I had Jurassic Park,
Right.
which was $1 billion at box office, and Home Alone, which did $500 million.
Well, there's your stats.
So that really brought up the average. Lowest was Troll 2. It made like $10,000 or something.
I like that.
But there are some that are very surprising how much money they made. And to me, that's Happy Feet at $383 million.
Yeah.
It Ends With Us, $350 million.
Yeah, it was hotly anticipated.
I guess, but when you think of Home Alone is a cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Home Alone. And it didn't make that much more than It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can go to just anyone and be like, hey, remember that scene from It Ends With Us? And they won't know what you're talking about.
I don't have a rationalization for that, but I feel like how hotly anticipated this movie was, and then also all the controversy surrounding it really whipped up those box office numbers.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
And then your movies average $158 million at the box office. So this is the first time I think my box office average was higher than yours.
Yeah.
Because of Jurassic Park.
Because usually I'm picking newer movies and more popular movies.
Usually.
Yeah.
The average year of release for my movies was 1985.
Oh.
And yours was 2008.
2008.
Which is a 23-year difference.
Wow. I feel like that's pretty standard, right?
Yeah, I don't know how big the spread usually is, but it's always quite a bit that mine are older than yours.
Right.
The newest of which was It Ends With Us from just this last year, and the oldest of which was Roman Holiday from 53. And for a first, I think this is the first time my runtime was longer than yours at 113 minutes, while yours was just 105. You had some nice, good short ones this year.
You're welcome.
That was helped by your shortest movie, Lights, Camera, Christmas, at a swift 84 minutes. But the longest movie, oddly enough, It Ends With Us, 130 minutes. That movie had no business being that long, though.
No, it didn't.
And I don't even hate the movie. I just think that's way too long for what that is.
The amount, and you can go back and listen to that episode, but I do think that they left out some really important parts of the book, and could have cut a large amount of the stuff that they actually did show. So I think they didn't use their time wisely.
No, agreed. And then for the ratings, let's save that for when we are talking about our awards for the best movies and worst movies.
Sounds good.
But we should start with a fun award, and that is the Waddles Award for Best Animal Friends. Samantha, do you have some nominees and a winner from your side?
I do. My runner-up was Kat from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and my winner was Bruiser from Legally Blonde.
That's a good pick.
Bruiser Woods, classic.
I have Bruiser as my runner-up.
Oh!
With honorable mention to the Raptors from Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Clever girl.
I considered that.
And I also have the Fiat 500 Sport from What's that movie called?
One True Love.
One True Loves. They are
So much Fiat.
That car was very prominently featured. But my winner is that poor slob without a name.
Cat.
And that is Cat from Breakfast at Tiffany's, played by the prolific actor Orangey.
Orangey.
Orangey's the name of that cat.
Oh, that's a good
who
name.
was in a lot of different movies.
Nice.
So we were kind of on the same page on that one.
We really were, yeah. The next one we're going to do is the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants Award for Best Human Friend.
Ooh.
What you got?
So for my nominees, I had Simu Liu as Sam in One True Loves.
Oh, I had him too.
Just like an all-around good guy. What a nice guy.
He's somebody I'd want to hang out with.
He was fun. He was kind of screwed around a little bit in this movie, but he was a nice guy. Mm-hmm. I have Joe Bradley, played by Gregory Peck in Roman Holiday.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Gregory Peck's just a
Stand-up
charming
guy.
dude. And this one was like, he's not the typical super noble Gregory Peck we see in some other things, but he's a nice guy. I liked him a lot.
Nice guy. I felt I'd feel safe around him.
Yeah.
If I didn't know him.
And Gabriel Byrne as Steve in Hereditary. His entire world and family is crumbling around him, but Steve's just doing the best he can.
Yeah.
But my winner, again, is Gregory Peck, but as Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Super noble guy, does whatever it takes. He's willing to stand guard with a gun for you if that's what you need.
Yeah.
Because Atticus Finch does what it takes.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about you, Samantha? I only had dudes in mine.
Yeah, I feel like I picked a real girly category, but I had Sam, Simu Liu from One True Loves. I also had Princess Anne from Roman Holiday because she seemed fun. And I had as my winner Elle Woods from Legally Blonde because she just seems like she'd do anything for her friends.
I agree. I think she would absolutely do anything for you. I just feel that friendship would be a lot more taxing on me than a friendship with Atticus Finch.
True. Very true. I think she would be kind of a tiring friend.
Yes.
But I feel like you could also, as a friend, be tiring to her and she'd be like right there with you.
That's true.
I feel like there's a lot of give and take in that relationship.
I'm just more of a low-key person. So that's why Atticus fits me a little better.
True. Very true. Well, what's next?
Oh, next we have the very prestigious Kate Hudson Award, which is given to the character who is not a villain, but you just hated.
Yep.
But it was not meant to be hated.
Okay. As my runner-up, I had Jane Nichols, played by Katherine Heigl in 27 Dresses, because she's very annoying and very wishy-washy and kind of all over the place. Mm-hmm. But my winners were Memphis and Norma Jean from Happy Feet.
Wait, I'm not going to get you to say anything else because...
Okay, great.
So I'm
Indy?
just going to say my runners-up were Sister Exposition from One True Loves. This sister who would just tell you the plot of the movie constantly. So you mean to say that your old love is back and he wants to get together, but you have a new love. How will this ever work? She is just a narrator and it's frustrating. The boss, George from 27 Dresses.
I forgot about George.
He's meant to be like charismatic and like we all see why she's so infatuated
We're
with him.
supposed to like fall in love with him.
Oh man, he was a glass of warm water. He was so boring. He was just like a khaki blur on the screen.
He really was. He was so beige paint.
Hassan Minaj's character in It Ends With Us, because I really like him as an actor, as a comedian. Did not care for that.
No.
But Samantha and I agree on one thing, and we both had co-winners for this, and they are both Memphis and Norma Jean, the parental penguins in Happy Feet.
Yes.
How are these two cartoon penguins that hateable?
I like the parents in animated movies in general are supposed to either be like tragic figures or very abusive, and that's why you like go on your journey to find yourself, or the most supportive, wonderful parents in the world. And I feel like they went for category 3 with this, and
Did they?
I thought so.
I don't know, because Memphis is clearly a terrible father.
Yes. Okay.
His second words to his kid are like, he's like, oh, hello, welcome to the world. Also, you're really fucking up. You're a piece of garbage.
Already.
Everyone already hates you, and I do too.
Yeah, and so I just feel like they really missed the mark on parents for this movie. I have more to say about Happy Feet later, but
terrible performances.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible voices.
Voice actors.
Their voices were so annoying.
The animation.
They were jerks. They were weirdly sexual. They were terrible characters. And it says something that both of us can agree that these two characters were the worst characters in all of these movies we've seen.
And we saw some movies.
Wow, yeah.
Yep.
Agreed. Memphis and Norma Jean, played by Nicole Kidman and Wolverine. What's that guy's name? Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Both of them. Terrible.
Oh, man. So our next category is the villain that was right.
Oh, the Magneto Award.
The Magneto Award.
So I have an old t-shirt that says Magneto was right. And it's kind of going around in like a pop culture outside of comic book stuff that everyone's like, wow, Magneto was right, huh? And our current world is like, yeah, Magneto was right. We should have just listened to him.
Yeah.
But I have,
who you got?
As runner-up, the lawyer in Jurassic Park, who's like, you can't do this. This isn't safe.
Yeah.
This is all going to go very terrible. And we're like, boo, screw you, lawyer. We don't need to listen to that. Yeah, he was right. Everyone died. He was trying to save everyone's life.
Yeah. Everyone's like, why are you taking away this thing that's wonderful?
But my winner is Selma Blair's character in Legally Blonde.
Oh, yeah.
Because Selma Blair is dating a man who was her high school or maybe like her childhood sweetheart.
Yeah.
They reunite in college, and then some woman shows up who had no interest in any of these things before. So it's like, oh, I'm going to your school now. I'm going to get your boyfriend. And she's just like, why? Why are you doing this? Who
are you?
She like pranks her a bunch. She tries to ruin her life for no reason. Yeah. In the end, they get to be friends, and they're like, oh, the guy was the bad one. But Selma Blair was right.
Yeah.
She's played as the villain for the first 60% of that movie, maybe even a little more. And it turns out, like, if you look at anything from her perspective, she was absolutely in the right. And Elle Woods was the crazy person who came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. If you watch that movie from her perspective, you're like, ooh, this is a shitty thing that Elle is doing.
Yeah. Who do you have for the Magneto Award?
So I have Mr. Yunioshi from Breakfast at Tiffany's, because she is the worst tenant ever. He can't sleep. There's constantly music going on. She's constantly ringing his doorbell and manipulating him. And he's like, I just want to sleep. I just want to be able to like do my photo work. I want to be able to like live my life. And you are making it completely impossible. So I think Mr. Yunioshi is a villain who was right, that she was a terrible neighbor. But my number one was the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, for the same reasons as your lawyer. Maybe don't make a dinosaur zoo with no way to train or safety net these giant wild animals.
Absolutely true. I just didn't think of any of the dinosaurs as villains, but I guess they go and they are
like
chasing
eats a bunch
them
of people.
I kind of think of them as like, well, is the iceberg the villain of Titanic? I don't know. They're like, the dinosaurs are nature. So I didn't characterize them as villains in my head. But yeah, absolutely.
I think that T-Rex was in the right. He was hungry. He didn't know what was going on. She didn't understand why it was like, why there were people around.
But she was the hero at the end because the raptors were the kind of the villains.
Yeah.
They made them look more conniving. And then the T-Rex came and ate them up.
Yep.
So redemption. But there's one bad thing about the dinosaurs. No good costumes on them.
No.
So with that in mind, let's go on to the Eliza Doolittle Award for best look throughout a movie. So costumes, makeup, all of that, but cumulatively for one character through a movie. Who do you have for this one?
So my runner-up was Jane, played by Katherine Heigl, in 27 Dresses, just because those 27 dresses were like pretty much character. I didn't pick her to win though, because the rest of the time she was like just kind of okay, but those dresses were like a real standout for me. Somebody had a fun time doing that. But my winner is Audrey Hepburn in both Roman Holiday and Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, double?
Yes.
I don't know if you can do that. You know what? I'll allow it. But between the two, if you had to pick one.
Probably Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just like iconic. Like there are so many posters from that movie up on people's walls to this day. I used to watch this movie all the time, so I feel like I just have like a very fond place in my heart for this movie and all the costumes.
So for my runners up, I had Melanie and the Birds. Always well dressed, even when she's being attacked by birds. Anyone in the movie Hero.
Oh yes,
because that was beautiful. I had Audrey in Roman Holiday. Audrey in Breakfast at Tiffany's for reasons you've already been over.
Yep.
But for my winner, I have to go with Maggie Cheung as Su Li Zhen in The Mood for Love.
Oh, I had a feeling you were going to pick one of the three movies that you did like that. Because there were some good costumes in all of those.
Maggie Cheung has the most gorgeous dresses that have those prints. She has that classic mandarin collar all the time.
Those outfits.
The hair was fantastic. I was looking today because I thought like, well, I'm going to give it to Breakfast at Tiffany's because it's Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Of course.
And then I just Google image searched Maggie Cheung in The Mood for Love. And you just look at all those outfits and you're like, this can't not be my winner.
Oh, yeah. I
Are you doing that right now?
Yes, I am. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to stick with Breakfast at Tiffany's, but I think that is a close runner-up for me.
Well, then we can get into the audio and visual awards. We're not going to be all technical and do cinematography and everything like that. We're just going to be just that. Audio award, best audio, best visual.
Okay, great. So I had Hero as my runner-up for audio because I felt like there was a lot of really good quiet moments in that movie where you could just hear like the slip of a foot or like fabric floating on the breeze.
I did love that.
It was really well done, and I know that like generally this award would go to something with like a huge score, but we didn't really do a movie like that this year, so
beg to differ, but
but Hero really stood out to me. But my number one is all those dino sounds in Jurassic Park.
Oh, interesting.
I went a little bit more sound effect this year than I did with songs.
It's audio. It's all of it.
It's all of it.
Also, great score.
Great score. Yeah.
Great theme.
Oh, yeah.
Great dino sounds.
Great dino sounds. I felt like the audio mix on this was great.
Very true. The thumps of the T-Rex feet, that's iconic.
It is iconic. And like the dinosaur yells.
Yeah, when they're all yelling.
When they're all yelling.
Hey!
Hey! Get off my lawn.
Yeah, they're always
That's
yelling
what they're saying. I just felt like those were really, really well done. And the like suspense building that they managed to do. What about you?
I had Hero as a nominee. In the Mood for Love has that score that I love so much, the Shigeru Umebayashi score. In the Heat of the Night, another great score. It was kind of breaking with tradition, and it was so new and innovative. It had the Ray Charles and like a jazzy score. People hadn't done that before. But I think all of the movies we did this season, there's only one that I actually own the physical soundtrack for, and that is 2046.
Yes.
2046 has such a beautiful sound design. It is mostly the score, but the sound design within the movie as well. Like the train, because there's those futuristic settings where there's robots and space trains and everything like that. And you get that Shigeru Umebayashi score that you had in The Mood for Love, because that carries over, but now it has more percussion in it. It still has some of the same ones and has train sounds going through it. But then you also get things like Connie Francis's Shibane. That's so good. You even have Nat King Cole's Christmas song.
Oh, yeah.
And there's this artist who I listen to a bunch, but I actually don't know how to say his name. Xavier Cugat? I don't know. But his Perfidia, and then he has an instrumental version of Siboney that's really good as well. It's just such a good soundtrack. I think it's one of my single favorite scores of all time. And it's not one that people think of. You think of like, I don't know, Jaws or like all sorts of John Williams ones.
Yeah.
But 2046 is my sleeper for maybe the most underrated soundtrack ever. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I couldn't not give it to that one. And then we have the Blade Runner Award for Best Visuals. Not necessarily effects, but just what it looked like. So no surprise, I had 2046. Hereditary. Hereditary is a very good looking movie, and just the composition shot by shot is masterful. And I feel like I should give it to In the Mood for Love. I feel like In the Mood for Love is one of the best looking movies ever made, but I can't just let it clean up on everything. So I switched it up and I'm going with Hero. Hero by Zhang Yimou. It has that color-coded chapter system. It has some of the most giant sweeping vistas, but then it also is able to capture these small intimate moments too. It makes no differentiation between character and setting at times. Like, it's using everything to construct this visual story. You could watch it if you don't speak the language. You can watch it with no subtitles and you would learn so much just by watching the visuals.
Yeah,
it's a masterclass in visuals as storytelling. So Hero is my pick for the best visuals of any movie we watched this year.
Nice. So for mine, I had Jurassic Park as a nominee, because like that's such a cinematic movie. I had The Birds for all the bird work.
Oh, interesting.
But my number one was Hero, just for like the sheer beauty and scale of it.
Yeah.
I found it like very, very beautiful, and I think that it deserves to win.
Yeah, when he's just kind of bouncing off the water, and we have that
all
still.
the leaves,
oh
and
my God.
and like the red silk outfits, and like it was just, there were so many things in there that stood out to me that it wins the award for me.
Well, I'm glad that even if you didn't love the movie like I did, there's things that stood out that much. So we had a John Hamm Award for Best Cameo, but I don't know if you had anything. So quickly, my winner was going to be John Candy in Home Alone. Because I guess you could call that a cameo. He's a pretty big name, was only in the 2 scenes.
Yeah.
And he's just great in every second he's on screen.
I agree.
Well, let's go to the couple awards.
Okay.
We have the best couple and the worst couple. Which should we do first?
Let's do worst couple.
The Rhett and Scarlett Award.
Yes. So my runner-up was Elle and Warner from Legally Blonde. There's not a good pairing there. And my winner was Grace and Alex from Ready or Not, because by marrying Alex, Grace was then hunted.
I didn't go into ones where we're supposed to think it is a bad couple.
Oh, see, I just thought that was like the worst.
If you end up getting hunted, that's a bad relationship.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be in that relationship. But yeah, so that was my worst couple.
I went with couples that we are meant to think are good together.
Yeah.
And I don't think they are. So I have Sister Exposition and Abby's noodle eating brother. And that means the sister in One True Loves who just tells you the plot of the movie. And then the actor, I forget his name now, but he played Abby's brother in ER.
Right.
And he's always just eating noodles.
Nice.
I found them annoying.
Yep.
I have Memphis and Norma Jean. But I couldn't give them the worst of everything. So I had to go with whatever Katherine Heigl's name was and George for the beginning parts when they...
Yes.
Because I didn't get it.
No, he was so boring.
Terrible. They were both kind of annoying. Between annoying and boring, And neither of those things make for a compelling couple. But for some compelling couples, let's look at the Best Couple Award.
Yes.
Who do you have for this one?
So I have Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck in Roman Holiday.
I'll say I have them as a runner-up as well. I feel like Audrey Hepburn usually just crushes anyone she's against.
Yeah.
Oh, not against. Paired with.
You sound like they're fighting.
With charm, right?
Yes. She's just like such a big personality in
Or
such
not even that. She's just so much more compelling and
Yeah.
charming. And Gregory Peck, although, again, still too old for her, was one of the very few people that I felt could hold his own as far as charm next to Audrey Hepburn.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was a very good coupling. But my winners, just because I feel like I'd want to be couple friends with them, were Emma and Sam from One True Loves. Because I really want to be friends with Philippa Sue and Simu Leo.
So you think that Emma and Sam are a more compelling screen couple than Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck?
I just thought it would be more fun to hang out with Emma and Sam. I think Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn would be fun.
I just think
Very
of them
cool.
as a better couple because that is a truly romantic story. While One True Loves was something else.
Something else entirely.
My other honorable mention was Audrey and George Papard in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have the big kiss at the end. I know it's deviating from the book, but it works.
Yeah.
It was good. And then I couldn't decide. I had...
Norma Jean and Memphis.
Well, yeah, of course. I have Tony Leung and Maggie Cheung in the Mood for Love.
Yep.
That is the greatest love story I think we see, I would say, of the movies we watched.
Uh-huh.
You have them kind of together again in 2046.
Right.
Or do you go to the movie Hero, where we get to see 4 different versions of an amazing love story? So is that 4 couples? Is that 1 couple? All of these, is this 6 couples? No, it is 1. And the answer is Tony Leung and Maggie Cheung in all of the things we watched them in, because we got to see kind of 6 different iterations of this love story. And I loved it all. I think In the Mood for Love is clearly the one because it's one of the greatest movies ever made, and I think one of the greatest romances ever made. But their story in Hero was also really compelling. So Tony Leung and Maggie Cheung are a landslide victory for Best Couple. I know they're no Sam and Emma. They don't have that Fiat 500 Sport to drive around. But
Well, that's
still.
how you know it's true love.
Yeah. He did stop traffic and get out, so that's true love.
Yeah.
The one I'm talking about merely was a forbidden love that spanned not only the constraints of society and their relationship, but film itself, continuing over into other movies. That's how good their chemistry was. And then in other movies, do we give them 1 love story? No, let's give them 4 in this one. That's how good they are. But I might be a little biased. I like those guys.
So our next category is Best Performance.
The Audrey Hepburn Award.
Yes.
So for nominees, I have Sidney Poitier as Virgil Tibbs in The Heat of the Night.
Yep.
Gregory Peck as Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Uh-huh.
Toni Collette in Hereditary.
That was a very good performance.
Toni Collette doesn't get enough acclaim.
She's so versatile.
Also, if you do a great performance in a horror movie, people are like, oh, that's just a horror movie.
Yeah.
She was doing drama. She was doing family drama and abject terror as well. So I thought it was amazing. Tony Leung, the other Tony in The Mood for Love.
Uh-huh.
But I have to give it to her debut film that won her Oscar, Audrey Hepburn, as the most charming princess ever in Roman Holiday.
Oh, well, for my runners-up, I had Audrey Hepburn in Roman Holiday. I thought she was charming. I thought it was a good indicator of things to come in future roles. And it's definitely one of the things you think of when you think of Audrey Hepburn. My other runner-up was just for being a role that everyone seems to know something from is Elle Woods. I think she's like a classic role that everyone kind of knows. But my winner was Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even put that in her top 5 performances. She's very good. But of Audrey Hepburn stuff, I put like, of course, Roman Holiday, 2 for the Road ahead of that. Maybe even Nun's Story. Yeah, she's very good in it.
I just think I'm a little biased because Breakfast at Tiffany's is like one of my favorite films, but I think she was amazing in it, and I think she did some really good, subtle acting work in that role.
Very true.
Yeah. So our next category is Worst Performance.
Oh, the Jimmy Fallon Memorial Award.
I would like to give honorable mention to the cast of Troll 2. There were some very questionable performances, and I had a lot of questions coming out of that movie, but I have to give it to the cast of Happy Feet.
The whole cast?
The whole cast.
Wow.
There was some really interesting vocal choices and also just some really interesting character choices, I guess.
I think what you might be tiptoeing around is offensive accents by Robin Williams in a few different ways.
Yes. I was trying not to like go off on a dead man. But yes, it was a lot of offensive accents and just some really odd choices from a directorial team that was supposed to be making a fun penguin movie.
I have too many nominees, but quickly, Nicole Kidman in Happy Feet, Hugh Jackman in Happy Feet, and Robin Williams in Happy Feet. Didn't give it to any of them. The dad in Troll 2, but then when he delivers the line of, "You can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it." I was like, you know what? You won me over. And he's not an actor. He was a dentist who did something goofy once.
Yeah.
So I can't give it to that. For my biggest disappointment, it's Judy Greer in 27 Dresses.
Oh, yeah.
Because I really like her, and she was very bad in that.
She was very bad in that.
But if we're talking offensive accents, there's only one person that had Robin Williams beat, and that is Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I didn't even want to get into
Going
that.
full on, I don't even know what you call that. It's past stereotypes. It's openly mocking a entire culture.
Yeah.
He's doing the teeth, he's doing the squinting.
It's like yellow face.
It's very bad, and it unfortunately detracts from a very good movie because you just can't sit through it without cringing, without commenting. It's very unfortunate and real bad. So I got to give it to Mickey Rooney. Yeah. And like honestly, I debated changing the Jimmy Fallon Award to the Mickey Rooney Award after that.
Oh man, I would consider.
You know what? Most offensive part of a movie should be its own award, and that'll be the Mickey Rooney Award.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also had, how many more of the shit do we have?
This was such a long list.
I thought we would be done already, but no, we're going to keep going.
I started it at work and then had to come home and finish it.
Let's just do this one quickly. The Scene Stealer Award, who's someone not in very much, but you always are captivated by. I nominated Bruiser from...
Oh, man. I love Bruiser so much.
I was about to say Pretty in Pink.
Legally
Blonde. I have the Fiat 500 Sport because it was lit so lovingly.
It was.
I have Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park because I thought he was very funny in the few scenes he had, but not as funny as Kevin's little brother, Fuller, in Home Alone. Yeah. Fuller, played by his real-life little brother, Kieran Culkin.
Yep.
Just hilarious. Doesn't do much. Loved him in every scene.
Yeah, absolutely. I had Kat from Breakfast at Tiffany's. I also had Bruiser Woods because Bruiser has some very good comedic little things that the dog does that was just like really great in those scenes. But my number one, I gave it to a person because I already gave the Animal Friends an award, was Jenny Slate in It Ends With Us. She did some good like one-liners in a couple scenes and I really enjoyed her.
Maybe we should take a break. And we have our annual couple argument where we argue about something.
Right.
But it's in public.
Okay, great.
So I think the question was posed. I can't even remember who said this, or maybe it was on a TV show, that if you were to die, you're not going to heaven, but you get to know either all of the future or all of the past. So it's kind of a time travel. Would you rather time travel to the past or to the future? But it's more just knowing. So I would always say, like, well, I can't time travel to the past because I'm not white, but I speak English best. So it would be very hard for me pretty much anywhere before 1989.
True.
Because I lived before that. It wasn't great.
It wasn't great. Yeah, until I was born, and then it was great.
Yeah, everything changed then. So it doesn't have that component to it. So it's just about knowledge. And I was surprised because you said, oh, the past, definitely.
I think the past.
Why?
With my knowledge of modern day, I would make life a lot easier, I think, back then.
You're not time traveling, remember?
Oh, yeah.
You're just knowing what happened in the past.
I don't know. I'm going to change my answer then.
What? We have this whole thing.
I know. I'm sorry.
And we talked about it. We've been talking about it for about a year.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, we can really get into it on the podcast. And all I did was phrase the question to you again.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was wrong.
I'm sorry.
Well, I guess that's the end of this segment. All right. Well, with that lack of compelling argument.
Sorry.
But if you're listening through all of this is our goof off episode.
Yeah.
We do work.
Serious.
Who listens to this?
Kim. My mom listens.
Does she?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She really liked all of our Asia episodes.
Oh, really?
I guess she only messaged me about it. But yeah, she was very into it.
Because I swear on this, but I'd never swear in front of your mother.
She knows you swear. It's fine.
Well, you would swear in front of your mom.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't.
Okay. I think Eric listens occasionally. I think they might listen together, actually.
I'd swear in front of Eric. That's okay.
Oh, yeah. I've sworn in front of Eric, too.
That's it. We have 3 listeners.
Galen?
Galen, I think, still listens.
Yeah.
I have a few work friends. I think maybe you have a work friend that listens. Now.
I do, actually. Yeah. Hi, Lauren.
And maybe Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah.
And you know what? I should give a special shout out to Alex, my friend. And I haven't seen him in many years. But I think there's only one couple that met through me.
Oh.
And it's Alex and Imsun, and they're both the greatest ever. And I wish I could see them again, but you know, opposite sides of the world and all that kind of stuff.
Where are they located?
Well, that's a bit of a story too.
Okay. Where are they located now?
Texas or Korea, depending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, those are very different places.
They
but
are.
Very cool. Hi, Alex.
Although he might
Not
be in
right now.
Colorado. He's probably in Colorado. You know what? We're not going to give Alex's address or anything. We're going to continue on with this episode that already feels way too long, but you're in it this far. Let's keep going.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, let's go to the Be Our Guest Award for Most Delicious Food.
Uh-huh.
I have a special note for Nothing from Troll 2. Because that's the grossest food I'd
Everything
ever seen.
was so gross in that movie.
The breakfast from Breakfast at Tiffany's. Chocolate gelato, Roman holiday. The pizza and beer on the set of Lights, Camera, Christmas. But the winner, of course, has to be the food in Jurassic Park after Lex and whatever her little brother's name, they get back and they're like, finally, we are alive and we can survive. And then they pile up all this ice cream and desserts. And I remember watching that as a kid. I was like, that looks amazing. And it still does.
That did look amazing. My number 1 was Root from It Ends With Us. The restaurant that Atlas owns.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The food all looked like very gourmet and it looked like it would be fun to go eat there. And I think I'm also taking a little bit from the book because they'd actually like describe some of the food a little bit more. And it did all sound very gourmet and very good.
Oh, what was your biggest surprise? The Sixth Sense Award for biggest surprise of the movie.
My runner-up was how gorgeous Hero was because I didn't really know what to expect. But my biggest surprise was how weird Happy Feet was.
Oh, man.
I was not expecting it, and I did not appreciate it.
My nominee was how deep I got into the religion of Happy Feet.
Yes.
It was a bizarre movie. Just go listen. It was our last episode. Go listen to that.
I thought about it for days.
Very strange. My other ones were Lights, Camera, Christmas was kind of okay.
Yeah.
That I didn't love Breakfast at Tiffany's, a movie I thought I loved.
Oh.
But the biggest one was I didn't love To Kill a Mockingbird. I had just read the book, loved it. I thought I really loved this movie. I hadn't seen it many years. Still pretty good. It's a good movie. Didn't love it. That was a little disappointing. But go listen to that episode. We'll talk all about it.
Yeah.
Which world would you like to live in if you got transported into one of these movies?
I would like to live in Legally Blonde. I think it would be fun. It seems just as peppy as I can be. And I've always wanted to experience American sorority life.
I wouldn't go into that world because you know what doesn't exist? Visible minorities.
True.
There aren't any.
No.
So that's not a good world for me.
No.
I thought about Happy Feet.
Yeah.
Because what a world that would be. Like if I knew that God was real and it was a penguin.
Yeah.
Whew, that'd be fun. I thought about Hero because it's kind of just the world, but everything's more beautiful.
True.
I thought about In the Mood for Love because it's just the world, but more beautiful.
Yeah.
27 Dresses because a lot of those romantic comedies, you're like, things just work out. But then I realized, they only work out if you're really good looking.
True.
So I'm going with Lights, Camera, Christmas because it does follow basic romantic comedy rules of things are going to work out. Nothing terrible happens, but there's a bunch of forced diversity. So I know I could still have a job in that world. And it works out for like not just beautiful people. If you just kind of like mean well and have Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
And I mean well and I have Christmas spirit.
I did think about that one as a runner-up because who wouldn't want to live in a happy little Christmas snow globe where everything is wonderful and you find true love.
Yeah. I kind of assumed I wouldn't live in that town, but just the rules of that world. But I would continue to be mean, but I think things would work out for me.
Yeah, I think that would be really nice.
What's the most rewatchable movie we watched?
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I don't really want to rewatch. It's not like a light, fun one. It's good and it's rewatchable. But I thought Hereditary because you need to rewatch it. But then I'm like, but I don't want to.
No, I don't want to.
It's too much work.
I don't want to watch.
I put Roman Holiday ahead of Breakfast at Tiffany's, and same with In the Mood for Love because each time I watched it, I was like, oh my god, it's so good. It like ached. It was so good.
Oh.
But I had to go Home Alone.
Yeah.
I watch it once a year already, and you know what? I'm gonna keep doing it.
Well, that's a good rewatch. Can't wait for this year's watch. So our next category is what movie would you like to remake or what sequel would you like to pitch?
Yeah. So I love pitching sequels and remakes, and I often do in the episode. But right after One True Loves, it's like, I want to remake this, but the dude was on an island or something.
Yeah, he was like lost at sea.
And then he like swam to America.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah.
That seems too dumb to be real, but that's what happened.
He was like a long distance swimmer. He was like a marathon swimmer.
All right. So he like makes a boat out of coconuts or something, swims back to America.
Yeah.
And I would like him to come back and she's like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with you. And then goes like kind of into horror territory and he's like a stalker and he's following her around.
Because he can't let his old life go.
Oh, but no. Wait, there's another twist. But then it keeps going more and more, and he's like always just watching her and following her around, and you think like, he's gonna kill her. What's he gonna do? But then the reveal is like, no, he died in that plane wreck. She's not being stalked. She's being haunted. And that would be like the final act reveal.
Oh man, is Simu Liu still in it?
Yeah, well, he would be like the guy.
Yeah.
And he would be like getting ready in the morning and then his window would shatter and he's like, what was that? And of course it's like we think it's an angry ex-boyfriend, but then later on we realize like, no, that was a ghost.
It was ghost.
That's why he never sees him.
Right. Whoa.
I'd watch that movie.
That sounds like a good movie. Yeah. I'd also like to see Simu Liu do horror. I think that would be
good.
Sure.
I'd like to see him in most things. I find him pretty charming.
He's very charming. My remake is Happy Feet.
Okay.
I would like the penguins to be less sexy, and I would like it to actually have good jukebox musical songs. I want 5-year-olds singing it. I want 45-year-olds singing it. I just want it to be like a super fun, colorful, well, like it's in the Arctic, so there aren't that many colors, but like super fun and like exciting and dancey. I want more dancing and singing and less like my father hates me. I'm a horrible penguin. And like most of the base of the story still works in my new remake, but they're just like less offensive accents. We can still have sidekicks. We can still have love interests. We can still have parents, dysfunctional parents. But like, let's get rid of the accents. Let's make them less sexy. And let's just like have like a real good soundtrack with it. I want it to be like, I can't stop singing this stupid soundtrack because it's my favorite.
Is there still a penguin god?
There can still be a penguin god.
Okay, good. I'm in then.
Like, there's all of that. I just, like, there were way too many weird choices in it and not enough of what makes a fun kids movie. So I think we're making it geared towards kids with parents taking them to the movie. But I think we can do a lot of fun things in between.
Oh, that gave me an idea. Can I pitch another movie to you?
Yeah.
The Birds 2. Actually, there was The Birds 2.
Oh.
The Birds, The Next Generation. But the birds are penguins. So it takes place at an Antarctic research station. It's like the thing. So they're down there. They're getting core samples of ice or whatever.
Whatever
and
you do in the Arctic.
Penguins start attacking. So they have both like the darkness plus also the fear of the cold. And then penguins are trying to get at them.
Right. Okay.
Oh, and then this could be a series. So that's like one of them. And then I want a prequel. And it's the 1800s, and they're on like a big sailing ship, and they're going into the Antarctic area, and penguins start like attacking them. And it's more like Jaws style, almost because they're on a boat, but penguins are attacking them there. Oh. Penguins are the villains. And then if we do like a third one, we could have a reveal of the Great Gwyn.
We'll see.
All right, well, let's wrap up this much too long episode. Overall, on Rotten Tomatoes, your movies were rated as 67 average, mine an 81.
Oh.
And if you take out Troll 2, that jumps up to 91.
Okay. I was wondering how that Troll 2 really brought down your score.
On IMDb, I was a 7.3. You were a 6.5. But my favorite is how we rate our own and each other's movies. So your movies, you rated them as a 6.9 overall.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I rated your movies as a 5.9.
I'll take it.
It's better than it's been in a lot of years.
It is better than it's been, and that makes me pretty happy.
I rated my own movies as an 8.5. I love the movies I love. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you rated your movies at a 6.9. What do you think you rated mine at?
7.5.
Wow. 7.2.
Oh, wow.
Although this has been the closest year. Usually you love my movies way more than yours.
Yeah.
This year, almost the same. Although, if it wasn't for Troll 2, again, that would be a little bit higher. So let's start off with, I don't know, should it be called the Troll 2 Award?
Probably.
We've been calling it the Bride Wars Award for Worst Film. I gave honorable mentions to 27 Dresses. And I'm not sure what my winner should be. I said the winner is One True Loves because it was filmed like a yogurt commercial and the character that was treated most lovingly was the Fiat 500.
Yeah.
But maybe I should give it to the best worst movie. And the best worst movie is Troll 2. Troll 2 is so fun because it's so bad. One True Loves is... There are fun parts. It's not like the worst movie around. It's probably more enjoyable than 27 Dresses. But it's also worse than 27 Dresses. But Troll 2 is worse than all of them and better than all of them. So I have to go with Troll 2.
I had to give it to 27 Dresses because...
Worse than Troll 2?
Worse than Troll 2.
Wow. The movie you said you loved.
Yep. I just thought 27 Dresses, there's so much potential there. And the way that they treated these like great actors was just like very perplexing because I seen Katherine Heigl and I think she's great. Judy Greer, also great. There was like so many actors in this that I've seen in other things where I'm like, I want to see them in a rom-com. I think that would be really great.
Oh, and like Cyclops was in this one, right?
Yes.
What's that guy's Marsden?
Marsden, yeah.
He's good in romantic
great
comedies
too. And so together, somehow, it was a terrible movie.
But very well loved.
But very well loved. So I have to give this award to 27 Dresses because it was just, it was a train wreck of things that could have been great.
Stats-wise, your lowest rated movies were 27 Dresses, Troll 2, One True Loves. You didn't even like that movie? I guess not. Happy Feet and Hereditary. Man, Hereditary's great. I don't know. But you still gave it a 6 out of 10.
It's good.
My lowest rated movies were One True Loves, 27 Dresses. I actually gave Troll 2 a higher rating because I enjoy watching it, but it was the worst. But it's also very fun.
So we have arrived at the biggest award of the evening, Best Film.
Ooh, the My Neighbor Totoro Award.
Oh,
That was the first movie we both gave a 10 to.
Woohoo! 10s for some people. I was going to say 10s for everyone, and I was like, no, that's the point of the show. I feel like I've already like recapped all of the movies that I liked and didn't like and what reasons why. I had to give Best Film to Roman Holiday. The only movie that I gave a 10 to this season. I think it was like a lovely story. I think both leads were very charming. I think it was like a nice little escape.
And other very high rated films by Samantha were Breakfast at Tiffany's, Jurassic Park, Home Alone, Ready or Not, and Legally Blonde.
Yep.
So for me, I had issue with this one. I'll say honorable mention Hero. That's up there. For many, many years, probably a good 20 years, I would list my 3 favorite movies as Taxi Driver, Roman Holiday, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay, yeah.
Those are my 3 favorites. And then a couple of years ago, I always said, oh, yeah, Chungking Express is up there too. And then we did it on this show, and I was like, oh, I think that's the best movie ever made. I think I have a new favorite movie now.
Okay.
So I said Chungking Express is now my favorite movie. So then it's Chungking Express, then Taxi Driver, Roman Holiday, and etc. So this year we watched Roman Holiday.
Yeah.
I gave it a 10 as well. It's the only movie this season we both gave a 10 to.
Yep.
I gave another 10, and that was for In the Mood for Love.
Right.
I always say Roman Holiday is like one of my favorite movies ever. So how could it not be the best movie of the 12 movies I picked this season? And it's not.
Oh.
I think In the Mood for Love is one of the greatest films ever made.
Whoa.
I think it's one of the 10 best movies in the world. And right now I'm having trouble finding 2 that are better. I still think I like Chungking Express the best, but maybe it was because I don't want to have a bunch of movies with the same actors and the same director like in my top favorite movies. But In the Mood for Love is so good. And I'm not going to tell you why it's so good because I did a whole episode all about that.
You can go back and listen to it.
Watch that movie and listen to the episode. When I watch Roman Holiday, I'm like, she's fantastic. What a fun movie. I really enjoyed that. When I watch In the Mood for Love, I'm like, this is what art is. This is what romance is. This is how beauty can be captured and put on screen. It transcends, like, I love this movie. So I might even still say that Roman Holiday is a movie that's one of my favorites. But if we're saying the best film, In the Mood for Love is one of the greatest things I've ever seen on a screen. I think it's amazing, and you know what? I'm not going to say anything else. It's great. Go watch In the Mood for Love and listen to that episode. It's fantastic.
Sounds good.
All right, let's go watch it.
Oh, we already watched it.
Well, I'm just going to keep watching it. It's the greatest thing ever. Didn't you just listen?
I did. I was here.
All right. Well, we had to finish up with, what are we going to do next? We started out with, like, I had this big scheme of things I was going to get you to watch to, I don't know, teach or something. I don't even remember. That was so long ago. Yeah. And then we started doing like a theme of the month a little bit. Where do we go now?
I want to do another big series.
I like that. I thought, wouldn't it be fun if we just did big series.
Yeah.
Like I would do the 3 Colors. I haven't done Godfather on here yet.
Oh, so you went so much more serious than I did.
But I would also love to do ones. Of course, there's so many different horror ones that I think it's real fun to see how they go.
Yeah.
Like we did Nightmare on Elm Street, but
Yeah.
I'd love to do Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I'd love to do Scream. I haven't even seen like the second half of all of those movies. Or like bad ones. I want to do Leprechaun. I want to do all of those movies. I want to watch all of the Rambos or all of the Rockies or all the Final Destinations. There's a new one coming out and I might be the last one.
Oh.
Or the Fast and the Furious
Maybe.
movies.
I really want to do the Fast and the Furious movies.
Because I want to talk about how like, oh, so this movie we're watching this week is about guys stealing combination DVD VCRs out of the back of a truck. And that's the plot of the movie. And then 10 movies later, they're going and flying cars in space.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get there?
Yeah.
How are they all superhumans now? I'd love to go talk about all of those. And I love how a series changes and evolves and sometimes goes into very weird places.
How many Fast and the Furiouses are there?
I think we're at 11.
11?
I think. So that's the thing, though. If we do that, we're not going to do things of the week because we're already doing 11 weeks of Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can do just that. So maybe we do a series per season. We didn't even do all of the Bring It Ons.
Yeah, true.
I'd love to watch all of those because we've done 3 on here. One of them was good, one of them was fun, and one of them was so bad that I enjoyed it. So that was fun too.
That is fun, yeah.
So I'd like to do those, but there's so many options. But I think what we might end up doing a lot of is just like, hey, I want to watch this movie again. Let's watch it together.
Yeah.
And think about it less, be a little less serious, and just watch something for fun.
Yeah. I like that idea too.
Mm-hmm. What would be your series to go to?
I think Fast and the Furious is one that I like actually want to watch for the podcast.
Well, how about this? Because I think the last one is coming out this year.
Okay.
Maybe we could time those together.
That sounds fun.
And we can watch like the last one in theaters.
I would like to see it in a theater. I think that would be fun because I feel like it's like a big spectacle kind of movie, like a Marvel movie. Fast 10 Part 2 comes out next year in 2026 in March.
Well, it's going to take us
a year
11 weeks to get through the movies.
True.
And if we're still doing things of the fortnight, 22 weeks. So
well,
we better start
perfect.
soon.
We're going to miss it. I want to be there for the premiere.
All right. For some reason, although neither of us love them, we might do 12 episodes on Fast and Furious.
I am looking forward to seeing how the series like changes because I know that there were like big things that happened in real life that like actually affected how the movies
that's true
continued. So yeah,
I don't know if I'm looking forward to that.
is it going to be
we'll figure it out.
We watched this and so did you?
So did it, like half the planet.
Yeah,
so.
I think billions of you have seen them, so I'm excited just based on the names.
You know what? Let's not talk about Fast and Furious anymore.
Great.
If we're going to devote 12 episodes to it, they don't need any time in this.
Okay, great.
Okay, we'll do a series this year. Maybe it'll be Fast and Furious.
Perfect.
We'll see if Samantha's whims change and she wants to do, I don't know, Rambo instead. All right, well, join us next week. We'll talk, we'll have some things of the fortnight. And then my movie pick is just going to be like, you know what? This is fun. Let's watch it.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks for joining us for this very long, very rambling episode. And thanks for joining us for, 300 of them.
Yeah.
Mostly less long and rambly.
Yeah.
Not always, though.
Thanks for being here at our kitchen table.
If you've listened to all 300, let us know. We'll give you a shout out.
See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I can do your argument from the past if you want.
Sure, you
were
do
saying,
it.
oh, there were so many things in the past. I wonder what really happened. Who was Jack the Ripper actually? What about all these princesses? And you loved all your royal stuff. It was mostly about royal things and you wanted to know what happened.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I am going to choose past then.
Okay. So am I just arguing with myself now?
I think so.
So my argument is why not to choose the past.
Uh-huh.
You kind of know. You might be wrong a little bit, and what you'll find out is like, oh, way more was done by women and non-white people, and they just never got the credit. I kind of know that.
Yeah,
That still happens.
I guess, yeah.
But the future, first, there's so much more of it. Probably. If the world ends like 3 days after I die, I'd want to know. Like, oh shit, a meteor just killed everybody? Didn't see that coming. Or do we evolve past physical bodies and we are just clouds of dust that are sentient and simultaneously individuals and one hive mind? That would be cool to know.
That would be cool.
Do we get past that cosmic bottleneck and we make it out into space and colonize space?
Yeah.
Does this all just go terribly wrong and we create maybe some sort of nanobots that take over and enslave us all and make us work in their salt mines? I'd like to know that.
Yeah.
And also you get closure on your life.
Right.
Because the people and things that you've experienced for your life, you get to see what happens to them. I don't need to know what happened to Napoleon during his childhood. That doesn't affect me.
Yeah, okay.
I don't care about the past as much because we know most of it.
I enjoy the past. So I think it would be more interesting and I'd have more to do in the past to learn about.
What would you most want to learn about?
Some of the like day-to-day things from various decades.
So you want to know like, oh, how did they make sandwiches in 1950? Oh, kind of the same? Cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know. There's like lots of historical things. I'd like to be there for history.
What's a looming question that was never answered that you're like, when I die, I want to know the answer to that?
I don't have a specific looming question.
I just want to know what happens. What happens next?
Yeah.
It's like how I don't need to watch Maleficent. Is that one of them?
What do you mean?
That's like, hey, here's the story you like.
Oh.
What about what happened before? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care because I already saw what happened.
Like a prequel.
Yeah, I'm sick of prequels. I don't want my afterlife to be a prequel. It's like, hey, you were born and you lived your life. What happened before you were born? It's like, what if we give it a dark twist? Like, no, I'm done with all of that. But if you stop a movie halfway through, I'm not going to go like, well, what happened before that movie? I want to see the end of the movie. I want to see the end of humanity, however it comes. But I guess it'd be cool to know like how they made breakfast in the 1800s.
I think it would be interesting.
But you don't have anything specific you want to know.
Not really. I just, history things.